In 1513, an Ottoman naval officer produced a world map. Not a speculative map, not a symbolic one, but a working chart intended for navigation. What makes the map unusual isn't just what it shows, it's what it claims. Written directly on the parchment are notes explaining that the map is a compilation drawn from multiple earlier charts, some very old, some already lost. But the artifact survives. Many of the sources it relied on do not. Welcome to the evidence gap. The map itself was created by a man named Piri Reis. He was an Ottoman admiral, a navigator, and cartographer. He spent much of his life at sea, moving through ports where maritime knowledge circulated constantly, as it does to this day, not just between nations, but between cultures. His map was not presented as an act of discovery. It was presented as an act of assembly. That distinction matters here. The surviving portion of the Piri Reis map depicts parts of Western Europe, North Africa, and the eastern coastline of South America. The coastlines are not perfectly accurate, let's be honest here, and they don't need to be. What stands out is their coherence. The map integrates information from different traditions into a single usable representation. This wasn't uncommon in cartography of the day. What's unusual is how openly the map acknowledges its sources, including charts that no longer exist. Piri Reis wrote that he relied on Portuguese charts, Arab maps, older Mediterranean sources, and at least one chart attributed to the time of Alexander the Great. Some of these sources are known, others are not, and some may never have survived long enough to be cataloged at all. So this creates a problem that has absolutely nothing to do with mystery, but it has everything to do with historical fragility. Historians have proposed several explanations for how the map was assembled. Portuguese explorers were mapping coastlines aggressively back in the late 15th and early 16th centuries. Islamic cartography preserved and expanded upon Greek geographical knowledge. Classical sources like Ptolemy influenced map making for centuries. All of this is absolutely true, and all of it explains much of what we see, but not the full chain. Between ancient knowledge and early modern maps lies a long stretch of missing intermediates. This is where the issue really deepens. Knowledge doesn't move forward cleanly. Knowledge is copied, it's translated, it's simplified, it's corrected, and sometimes it's misunderstood. Maps often preserve conclusions, not methods. They show where, but not how, that knowledge was obtained. When source materials disappear, the result is not mystery. It's provenance collapse, right? We're left with artifacts that imply a lineage we can no longer reconstruct. This is the gap that the Piri Reis Map reveals. Not a gap in accuracy, certainly not a gap in history, but there's a gap in transmission. So how do we evaluate an artifact like this when it clearly depends on earlier knowledge? That knowledge was once widespread enough to circulate, and yet the trail of sources has vanished. The map doesn't defy history. It exposes how much of history never survived intact. This is not evidence of a lost global civilization. It's not proof of advanced ancient technology. And it's not a challenge to established chronology either. What it is a reminder that preservation is uneven. What survives often does so by chance, not by importance. The Piri Reis Map doesn't force us to rewrite the past. It asks us to acknowledge something different. That knowledge can persist long after its origins are gone. That conclusions sometimes survive without explanations. And that artifacts can raise questions not because they're anomalous, but because they're incomplete echoes of a larger lost system. And that leaves us in the evidence gap.